the Grant County Drainage Board to order, December 31st, 2024. Only 4 of 5 members are present. Gordon Goff is absent. And we will start with review of minutes. You got those down there, Kenny?
Yeah, I got it here.
All righty.
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
All right. Kenny Cates has made a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
Seconded by Pat Pinkerton. Any questions, comments, deletions, editorial changes? Hearing none, all those in favor would say aye. 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 Did we need any abstaining? We are unanimous. All right. Jim, if you will walk us through claims, please.
First one, John's Repair Service, $8,000 on Luger Creek, $136,590 in the fund. And this is a payment on a job that he received, and there is some money left to still pay him, right, Mary?
Yep.
This is, I think, our second installment, maybe.
Yeah, there's 136,000 in there before.
Is his job done?
I'm sorry?
Is his
No,
job done? No.
Still working on it a little bit. And then the Commissioners pre-approved claims, Grant County Treasurer,
They got a
2,000.
vote on the John's Repair.
Okay. Separate.
I move we pay this claim for John's Repair Service.
Motion, Mr. Cox. Got any seconds down there?
Second.
Second, Mr. Pinkerton.
Are you in a hurry this morning?
Just to throw a few things away. All those in favor would say aye.
I guess on this, you don't have to do the ordinance stating.
Okay, that was everybody.
Yep.
Now, the pre-approvals, these are items that, if you'll walk us through them, Jim, then I went ahead and pre-approved them as the chair because we needed to get them in on last year's disbursements. So.
That's why John got his in too late.
Oh, really?
But the top one, I don't think it's going
Yeah,
to.
he got it into, that's right here.
Yeah.
Turned in, he got it in too late.
So actually, it'll go next
Yeah,
week.
it'll be turned in today.
He's okay with that. Let me read them off.
Yes, please.
Grant County Treasurer, $2,433.95. Loan repayment to General Drain Improvement Fund. Howard County Treasurer, $5,274.38. This is outbound joint drain. Blackford County Treasurer, $7,079.20. Outbound joint drain. Huntington County Treasurer, $788.75 for outbound joint drain. Wabash County Treasurer, $1,082.19 outbound drain. Wells County Treasurer, $390.44 on outbound joint drain. Chronicle Tribune, $55.16 on connotes of Keaton, $29,102 in the fund. Spitzer Harriman, $1,925 legal fees for 24, $5,000 in the fund. The Gordon's gone, so
we
I
can do Gordon's.
Go ahead and Cook Excavating, $1,540 on Big Deer Creek, $21,692.80 in the fund.
So those, if you have questions on them, we can ask questions. When we do make a motion, it'll be to ratify the pre-approval.
Big Deer Creek, I think, that was Law, or Beaver Dams, wasn't it, right?
Yeah.
Move we pay these claims.
I see 2 hands. All right, Pat was closer, so I took his hand first. So Richard made the motion and Pat seconded. Any other discussion on those?
Upstairs, my copy, because I turned it in to pay.
If not, all those in favor would say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And then we've got one more that Kenny can't vote on.
This is Cook Excavating on $1,100 on Pipe Creek. That was on Mark Glessner's property for log removal. $153,162 in the fund.
Ready?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Pat made the motion. Richard seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor would say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those abstaining?
Aye.
And that's carried 3-1 abstention. So we've got our bills taken care of.
Hey, Jim, on that last one there on Pipe Creek, was that over there by the stone quarry?
Bill's upstairs. It was on Mark Glessner. No, that wouldn't have been the Stone Quarry. He owns about that whole mile going out of the county.
No, it could have been there at Jimmy Marsh's or, yeah, old place.
Bill said Mark Glessner.
I know, but I mean,
Yeah.
Mark bought that farm.
Oh, okay.
That's Pipe Creek there.
Well, I didn't check it close enough. I knew he was gonna take some logs out.
He had trouble finding it.
Okay.
Under old business, unfortunately, we don't have any movement that I've been told of, so unless you have a revelation, Pat, we're gonna move on.
Nothing major.
Okay, we'll leave it to the 25 Drainage Board to see what we can do. Under new business, first off, is it Buddha Acres? Did I say that right?
Yeah, I think so.
What have we got with that, Jim?
Mr. Bono, surveyor is here today for drainage approval. It's a 2-lot. I have an aerial photo in front of you. He's got a plat that he's gonna talk about and show you. I see no problem with the drainage. The ditch is actually an unnamed tributary. I can't prove that we've got an easement through there. It outlets into the Monroe, so that everybody pays on Luger Creek and tributaries.
Yeah, copy. I've got an extra copy over here, so I thought. Go ahead and bring it. Just the honors.
Where's that east of Marion?
I'm gonna bring this around. Can you see it?
South and
Where's that east of Marion?
Yes.
I know, can't find another road.
It's right here, right in this area. This is 72 drainage plat. See, this is unnamed, and this is Monroe. It enters Luger Creeks here. Here's Tippy. So it's across the street. That's 800 and 100 south, isn't it?
Yeah.
100 south.
Yeah.
So 800 east.
Uh-huh.
South.
What are we doing with it?
We're gonna give it's a 2-acre subdivision. We're giving drainage approval. It's all natural. I see no problem. If you want to add to it on the building sites, talking through the building sites there.
Yeah, not necessarily. So we're doing the surveying for JMax, which is a house building company. They do barn dominiums, and they have kind of decided even though we have 3 smaller lots, you've got your 4-acre, 4.036, 4 and 4 acres, which have already been created. They're already parcels. We were able to do the 3 splits. They needed to start building a house within the summer and the early fall. So they've kind of decided on wanting to put in small ponds for each. They may not be quite as excited about it if they realize how much work and effort it is to put in 5 ponds. But that's their ideas. They have a construction company. They have they have 2 or 3 different companies that have come together that are creating JMax. And Adam Saunders is one of the owners, and he actually is going to have lot 1, which is on the north side. The other owner, Zach Aguilar, is on the south side, and he's lot number 2. So these are kind of what's left for the owners. Then they were going to sell the other 3 parcels. So that's the background information. What it looks like to me, they've already started building. They've already got the house and foundation in on lot number 2. It's going to meet the minimum side yards, and it's quite high. I mean, we're looking at an 865 elevation of where the house is now, the proposed, it'll be finished, but versus like an 848 elevation of the center line of the creek from that. And probably why I'm really here is to be able to kind of ask, and to begin with, I thought we had a legal drain, which is going to be, you know, asking what your advice is for the size of pipe, what would you expect to have even on a private driveway like this. And since it's not, I still want to have it engineered by a civil engineer, but wanting to get your approval for the 2-lot plat is probably the main thing. And asking you if you have any concerns about the piping that would go across. We'd go across with the driveway there for Adam.
So the access to lot 2 will be through lot 1? There's a road on the west side.
Right, the driveway
Okay,
to lot 2 handles everybody.
okay.
And so everybody gets an easement except for lot 2, and they own the driveway.
Really, we're just agreeing to receive the water, right? Ultimately?
Yeah.
And this isn't a legal drain,
No.
so it's
Can't
not
find any
even,
proof of it.
it's not even the
Under our
TRIZ
jurisdiction.
that we maintain.
No, I don't think there's any right of easement drainage board wise through that lot. I went all the way back to the 43 drainage plats, and it's an unnamed tributary of Monroe Ditch, which we went all through there last season and cleaned out the Monroe Ditch real good.
Problem. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what we'd approve though.
Yeah.
Just that we'll take their water. I think we did that in Fairmount, when we were working with the Dollar General. We had to say we were gonna take their water.
Even though they weren't on our drain.
Right.
Yeah, but this is all drained into it now anyway.
It's natural, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're already taking the water.
Make it legal.
They're in the Luger Creek watershed, they pay a ditch tax. But it's not gonna be used to maintain that unnamed tributary.
I mean, the only thing I'd really be concerned about is
Our phone
just
just
crossing in there.
What do I do?
But it's still,
Answer
we
it.
can go ahead and fix it.
Uh-huh.
Get it back up over here.
It won't. It's not touched.
The engineer that. Yeah, it's nice property.
It might be.
See the issue.
Did you know you had a meeting?
So what do we need?
Just a motion to receive
It's weird.
and approve that water as it comes, as far as I'm concerned. We don't need to sign that, do we?
I'm sorry, what?
Do we have a place that we authorize
There
that?
is a place to sign, but this is going to be revised to show that it's not a legal drain and
We took off,
Okay,
so
so,
bring it back for signing.
Yeah.
the access,
yeah.
the access for lot 1 goes through lot 2.
Yes, yes.
So, I mean, as long as you size the crossing appropriately, I don't see what the issue would be.
Okay. I'll have an engineer take a look at the drainage area and make sure that I was talking with Adam Saunders, and he says, well, that's going to be my driveway. I want to make sure that I don't get stranded. I was like, well, there you go. That's a smart guy.
There's a lot of trees in there, so he may have a lot of trees piling up when the.
Actually, on the north side, lot 1 really doesn't have many trees. It's a little cornfield back there. And it works out really pretty well. It'd be an excellent spot to build. The other one's got kind of a hill between where the house is and the creek. It's kind of interesting. But what I did do, I did design a 20-foot wide utility and drainage easement on the east side of that stone driveway that's going up through there. So each one of the driveways that'll be coming off would need to have a pipe underneath those driveways. But I figured that would be, we do need to talk to, I don't remember who the electric company is out there. We need to talk to the utilities and make sure that that's going to be sufficient area and location for the utilities also within that drainage easement.
BAEP.
Yeah, it's AEP. And they may want to run it up the other side of the property, so
Oh, yeah.
they never want to run it where you want them to run.
So are you asking for the revised paperwork to come back for the next, is that what we're asking for?
Well, we can't sign this because that's calling it illegal drains.
Right.
I mean, if we're gonna sign it, do we need to sign it? That's my only real question is.
I would say bring it back then
When it's revised.
when it's revised.
The final, make it the final plat.
So the Area Plan Commission, I believe, has a meeting on it on January 6th.
Yes.
So we'll probably have some changes after that as well.
So is there anything we need to pass today then?
I would say no, we'll wait on the revisions.
Revised.
So the next drainage board meeting is,
What?
when is the next drainage board meeting?
You got it.
Calendar. I changed time zones, so all of my. 14.
14th of January.
They have it ready by then?
Yeah. It should be fine.
Do you
It
want
should
to
be
be on the
great.
agenda for the 14th?
We're not in a big hurry necessarily. They're probably going to be waiting until spring to do anything more for concrete or anything like that.
But the drainage board has no objections to the subdivision, so.
No, my only concern would
If
be
something
the guy's
changes and you
private
can't come
drive.
before me, just let me
Again,
know.
that's a private
I'll move
property.
it.
Sounds good. So do they have another every 2 weeks, or is it?
It's the second and last Tuesday.
Oh,
So the next one would be the 28th.
All right,
Why do they call it Buda Acres?
Who knows?
we asked them what they wanted it to be, and that's what they said.
Okay.
Zach's
What kind of buddy name?
nickname, buddy name.
Yeah. Buddha.
There's a little community in southern Indiana called Buda. I don't know how it's got its.
Okay.
just have a deputy nicknamed Buddha, yeah. All right. Seemed like we had talked about this in the past, this private crossing for Hummel Creek.
Yes.
Is it a different private crossing? I hope.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's-
it's further north than where
A lot
we had a
further
problem.
north.
It's up on the north end, at 650 north. Me and Raymond, we measured both private crossings. It's in between 650 north and 400 east. And George Camacho's got back with us a letter. And it could, because the depth of the ditch, the first stream crossing north of County Road 400 East has an area of 64 square feet on the bridge on County, and then County Road 400 East has 112 square feet. So George is recommending no less than a 10-footer at this location. I'll bring the maps around for you to see. You're familiar with this, Richard? There's a little small crossing right here. This was put in a long time ago, not approved probably. There's a 10-foot boilerplate here that's, the end's been left on a foot, restricted it, but that was for strength. And see, they have to cross this lady's driveway to get to that. This is King, and this is Kratzer, and right, they've got the tree line cleaned out, and it would go right here. So George is recommending a a 12 footer or a 10, no less than a 10, he said.
You know where it's at?
No.
You know Carolyn King, by any chance? Lives on 650 right there. The King boys.
It's 905 acres.
This is Cratcher's where they built a big, big pond.
Okay.
You're gonna put it right there in that spot. Cause this one isn't safe to cross anymore.
And, you know,
Oh, why not?
I think Mr. King was surprised that he's supposed to get the county's permission to put something in, and he was wanting John Inyard. I talked to him a couple of weeks ago, and he was wanting John to give him a price, and John don't want to give him a price until, you know, he knows what to build, and he was going to call him back and tell him to be at the meeting today, and he's not here, so we still need him to come and ask permission to put a private crossing in.
Yep.
But they recommended no less than the 10-foot one.
And where's it go?
Right here.
Right there?
That's where the 9-foot boilerplate, it's actually a 10-foot boilerplate. And
What's downstream?
it's a bridge,
Okay.
16.4 at the top, 6.6 high. And then it steps in up 10 feet high. That's just downstream. And then the other crossing at a 7-foot bottom was only 6 foot of clearance and 8 foot at the top.
Is that there?
Yeah. And that water might run over from time to time or something.
I don't think I've ever seen water over that.
Well, yeah, it's a flare. It's built so as the water rises, it keeps moving. You know. It was David Kratzer and Anthony King. So they really need to come back and talk to you, but at least we've got the size.
Yeah.
I'll call John back and, you know, he could give the guy a price. We didn't know if they'd want to spend that much money on the private crossing or keep using the one that's down the road.
They haven't used that crossing in years. In probably 4 or 5 years.
The boilerplate one?
Yeah.
It looks safe.
Well,
It's narrow.
I don't think it's too wide enough.
Right, it's narrow.
They go clear down around
Okay.
and come in through the back.
So I think the main question is, are not going to give them permission to work in
They
the,
haven't asked for it yet.
technically they haven't asked for it.
Yeah, he hadn't come. I thought he would be here today.
So again, it's going to be a carryover. Okay.
But the recommended area opening would be 10 feet. So if you agree to that.
A minimum.
A
Minimum of 10
Yeah.
feet. Right.
With the weather patterns these days, probably better go with 12.
The 12. Well, that's you guys' call.
Get it.
I don't
Get one of
mind
those
saying 12.
15-minute rains again that just.
I don't mind saying a minimum of 12. It's up to you guys, and you know what that's like up here, so.
It'd be better to go to 12 probably.
Where do you find a 12-foot boiler?
I don't know. Not my problem.
I think that would be the recommendation, at least right now, is that we go at 12-foot minimum.
Okay. I think that was 88 square foot on the area opening. The next county road, the next county bridge, quarter mile away is 112. And the 12 footer would be 88 square feet.
It's easier to do it bigger now than
Yes.
bigger later.
Right. All right.
But you'll still need to appear before the board to talk about it.
Okay. Sounds good. What about the Dean Ditch?
We have a Mr. Wright, Wright Drainage, and he's working on, there's 2,322 in the fund. He's working on a property owner that is needing to replace the old county tile. Or he just wants permission to tap into the county tile. He already has, Jim Dragoo is the name. It's the Dean Ditch. Bring these down, you guys. I had trouble with the copier, and Mary got this from upstairs. the Dean ditch is coming through right here like this, where you see the shaded ground. And you see this area here is already tiled with a tile that's no good. And another tile he wants to run up in this area. And you can see there's a couple tiles down in here that's already existing. This is this. So he's just asking permission to tap in his new tile into the county tile. And the tap-in fee can also be paid. He's been paying maintenance on the Dean ditch for a long time. It's been on maintenance forever. But it will allow the maintenance fund to do the tap-in work. There's 3 of them there. When I talked to him, I didn't realize there was going to be 3. Water all drains into it anyway, so.
Where's this
South of Fairmount, where Fox Station.
So we're paying for him to hook on, but not the tile work.
Right, but he just wants, he wants permission to add this additional tiling into the tile, which nobody ever asked for that, they just do it. But he's being nice.
We'll handle it.
All that ground is in the
Watershed
watershed anyway.
And it already has old tiles draining into it. He was just worried that he'd need a permit or something. It's right in here, Kitty. Right in here, where the Dean ditch, it crosses the railroad track, comes right in there.
Any problems with that?
Guess not, since it's already in the watershed.
So,
I move that we allow, what's the name?
Mr. Wright?
Mr. Wright to hook on to the Dean ditch to do his drainage work.
He does work in Madison County, and he was gonna get Mary his insurance and stuff. She'll be talking to him.
Second. Pat seconded that. Okay. All right. Any other discussion?
Who seconded?
Pat?
Now, we're paying to work on the ditch, but not to do tile.
Your maintenance fund can pay for the tap-in work, but that's it. And I told him,
Okay.
all the new laterals are all on him.
With that clarification, all those in favor would say aye.
Aye.
Aye, those no, abstain, that's unanimous. All right. We've got that new business taken care of. Then we got a little thing called Cart Creek. You want to talk to us about it, or you want Wendell to talk to us about it?
We're accepting a petition, as Mary already got the petition, hasn't she?
Yeah. And it is 28% of the benefit acres and 16% home sites.
From the home sites, are in
Yeah.
favor and.
They're in favor of it.
Sign the
300
petition.
and 1 acre and 2 home sites, and this is proposed, and that's. And we're not ready to set a date.
Okay.
No, him and Mr. Cates and Raymond, they both talked about that watershed, and you're gonna help him get that division.
Yes.
Taking off that one part, and it'll have to be done, and when they get that done, Mary, they'll bring it back before you guys, and you'll set a public hearing. His proposed rate is $50 an acre, $100 home site, with a $50 minimum for 8-year collection. Because it's gonna take a while to get a chunk of money in that fund to start replacing it from the north to the south. With the 36, right?
Yes.
Well, Wendell has a good
What
plan.
is it now?
Pardon?
What is it now?
24.
You're taking off some water
Is
for
this the one that
36,
goes
aren't you?
through central Indiana? That's all?
It used to go through CIE and used to go south of the railroad track. That's on the south side of CIE.
Okay.
But then they got cut off, but CIE would like to hook onto this if we got an upgrade.
They've got some real swampy
So
ground to the
it's
east
basically gonna
side.
stop there at
It's
18.
basically gonna stop on the north side of 18, I think.
Right there where we did some of that other work along that fence line?
Yes.
Yeah.
But CIE, well, we gotta sit down and talk more, but hoping CIE will pay for it from there on.
Even better thing.
Getting across 18.
South of 18.
Oh, on the east.
But with the board's approval,
Is it then vacated where it crosses the railroad, or is that still?
I don't know what happened to it. I'm gonna say, I was pretty young, but I'm gonna say 30 years ago, the railroad kicked us off of there, we was trying to repair a tile in the railroad area.
And they kick everybody off of everything.
Yeah,
I think they own it.
so,
but see, after they built their holding pond, that water all got took west,
Been in trouble with the railroad before.
with the west with a 24-inch tile pad. So, but all the side ditch along 18 drains that way, then they still have that swampy land that nobody can develop to the east of them.
yes.
But Wendell's got a plan to relocate this tile when they get the money and the Drainage Board's approval. He's got a pretty good plan to relocate the tile in a couple of places. It's gonna make it work a lot better, kind of get it out of that shallow ground where the 24 is. And you got a solar place planned on the outlet of the quite a few acres that may fly someday.
Yeah. Well,
Better get it in there.
we gotta get ours in before they fly.
Right. Yeah, I knew that was the plan.
Well, does that 36 come clear up to 18?
No, 36 will make it, there's 5,600 feet of 36 inch. We got a,
Good chunk.
yeah, so it comes to the south side of Chapel Pike. And then 30 crosses Kim Road, and then 24 goes most of the way to 18.
Today, we need a vote to accept the petition so we can move forward.
I'd like to know, I guess I have a couple questions for the board. One is would it be too risky? If I push that to $70 an acre, we could collect enough money in 8 years to put it in. If, or is there,
Are the people that are on it gonna fight it at $70 an acre? Since you've already talked to them at 50?
I don't know.
The difference between 50 and 70 is not gonna be that much.
We got a,
Cause see, we can always set it high and come down at the meeting, but we
that's
can't
what I'd
go up.
rather, that's what I think I'd rather do, but I guess what I'm asking you guys,
You don't want to get people
it's
fired
70
up.
so hot, so aggressive that you're just gonna get a flat no and you don't even end up at 50.
Well, if we're just receiving the petition, we can actually set that in the future. If you want to, talk to some folks and see if they'll adjust up to that 70 instead. And then when we're ready to actually, the board's ready to vote on, what we're going to advertise it,
Yeah.
then we can do that for sure. But we won't set it today. We'll wait to hear from you.
And then the other question is there any money in general fund?
No,
That's a little too fast, Richard. Let's try it again.
Car Creek has a fund.
There's no money in
How much is that Car Creek?
Not enough.
Yeah, but Jerry Renbarger signed this at 82 acres and Holloway signed it at 70 acres with 2 home sites for Tom Holloway and another 4-acre tract, which Tom Holloway Jr. signed it too.
The bad part of it is 8 years. You know, and I know the CIE, east of those bends, has got a water problem.
If the solar would go into the north, I talked to the Blackford County surveyor, Paul Schreiber, a while ago. They're putting a lot of solar in their county, and what they've done is where it comes up to the ditch easement, the solar has agreed to stop their fencing, fence the ditch easement off, so that still stays clear. There's no fence across the ditch easement. And they'd agreed to that, no problem. That'd be, if they could do that, instead of putting a 36 in across the solar where it outlets, why not build an open ditch through there so everybody else's water to get away? It'd be cheaper, wouldn't it? What do you think?
Yeah, it'd be cheaper. I just don't like maintaining an open ditch.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that,
Especially through a solar field, right?
yeah.
Well, we've kept Carter Creek cleaned out, but see, I didn't know that. All the talking I've done was solar rate.
Well, it has to be wide down through there so you get through and mow it and all that.
Well, but, you know, if somebody slips up and doesn't get the trees trimmed, you're never gonna get them trimmed later.
And most,
You'd have to spray it.
that fund mostly just keeps the head wall brushed and dredged.
Yeah.
You know, we've done that 3 or 4 times now, but there's $21,654 in the fund. And I don't know, seemed like that's maybe $5 an acre now. Mary. $5 an acre now.
Yes, for,
$450.
Yeah, $20 home site and $5 minimum, $450 an acre. I never heard of that.
Yep.
Didn't remember that.
but I would like to push it along. What happened, our problem started, the head lady lived to 107. The heirs are now in their 80s. And so we thought we had a deal going, and then now we got 4 heirs in the 80s and major heirs. So, so I guess we've been dragging our feet thinking as soon as she passed away, this thing's gonna go and we're gonna put it in. And now the 80s saying, no, we don't need to spend that kind of money.
Instead of dealing with 1 in 100, you're dealing with 320 years of decision-making.
So that's where we've sort of given up thinking we should have started this thing 15 years ago instead of waiting on her to pass away.
Yeah.
And she was a good lady, don't get me
Was
wrong.
Marvin alive 15 years ago?
No. See, Marvin wanted this put in. That's the only advantage we got going for us. Is these 4 heirs, their dad wanted to put in before he died. And it's never happened. So, and I also need to thank you, Mark, for all your service.
Thank you.
Hope I run across you again.
Well, you will.
This has been the best board I've worked with,
Well,
43 years.
so we're gonna receive a petition, but we're gonna let Wendell do some more work on folks, and then when we're ready to actually set the public hearing, that's when you let us know whether or not we go up or stay at 50.
In the meantime, we just need to tweak the.
How many acres was it?
301.
300?
And this here,
That's what she said.
oh, it's 1,070 something.
Near a wash.
1,074 acres,
Yeah.
12 home
Where
sites.
did I get
How much that
How
bring
many?
in? 21,000?
1,074 acres.
1,000. Why'd I get 301?
I don't know, I did
that's
too.
what-
Oh, because the benefited acres are on the
Oh,
petition
benefited
is
acres,
301,
Okay. It's requesting that.
which is 28% of the watershed. You have to have
Okay.
at least 10 to petition.
Sorry.
Yeah.
At $70, what's the bring in? 21,000 a year?
Probably, because I was thinking my bill was 10,000 a year.
But I don't have to have a rate today because we're not.
No, yeah, we won't set the rate until we hear from Wendell. All right.
You gotta get the thing started because the 80s will be going, but time this thing starts.
Then you'll be dealing with 28 areas.
Yeah, then you,
That's
yeah.
right.
We don't know, they might live to 100.
They might decide to sell.
All right.
Why don't you just buy it?
We don't work that easy.
We got any other business that we need to do?
They have to vote to accept the petition.
We have to vote to accept the petition, but we're not going to set up any rates yet. Okay.
I'll make that.
Pat has made a motion to accept the petition. Somebody want to second that?
Second
Petition for what?
for this.
Kenny's already down in Florida. He's already looking out on that water. All right.
I'll second her.
We have a second on the receiving of the petition. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It is carried. No other business?
I did talk to Paul Schreiber from Blackford County, and that blockage on Walnut Creek is about 4.5 miles downstream. They have their own drainage board that's just set up just for Walnut Creek, you know, some people on it. And the elevation didn't show that they would want to spend, their water's gonna get away. That log jam has no effect on them elevation wise.
So in other words, they don't want to give us our money.
participate.
Okay.
And I told them, Raymond's done some research on Walnut Creek, and I think it is a legal ditch all the way to the river. You know, the stone quarry's done what they wanted to over the years, but it still gets through. The problem is you're gonna have about 3/4 of Gas City draining into it through storm drains into the Long Branch. And then all that Long Branch would clear out to the 69 Gas City interchange. They're all gonna be paying into it, so it's gonna be tricky to get everybody to. The farm ground don't flood, it's kind of down in a wooded valley, so that's why nobody's ever pushed it to have a maintenance on it. Very little farm ground's ever lost. And you need the farmers to support this to get a ditch tax going, because there's gonna be so many homeowners that's gonna be opposed. But that's down the road, but
Yeah.
you know, that $1,500 that we spent 18 years ago, that wouldn't go very far on this log jam now.
Unfortunately, I think that's going to get wrestled with next year too, so.
Yeah.
I would like to talk to the board immediately following the meeting so that we're off public, but I do want to say, it's been great.
We'll miss you. Both of you.
One of the best boards I've ever worked with. I've learned a lot. I appreciate it.
It has been good, Mark.
We appreciate you.
Yeah.
You need to come sit in the audience and heckle us.
Yeah, that isn't going to happen. Won't heckle, I'll support it.
Well, you got those beavers to look out for out there in your addition.
I'm all in favor of removing the dams and the beavers, and anytime Wendell needs backup, he's got it.
Yeah.
But Raymond's gonna have to hire another surveyor in the office.
Me and Camacho took a tour. He wanted to go look at that since it's a question of the final plat was kind of blank in the middle. It didn't exactly tell which drain was going to be the one, but I take it it's the one to the west that drains the tile.
And that's why we kept all of it.
We let you work on them other ones too, but the next one over goes to the big lake. And then the next one over goes around the big lake. But if none of them's working, everybody's back to,
It takes both of them to work.
right.
There's not one or the other.
It all has to work.
That all has to be together for it to work, because they kind of cross over.
Yeah, where the big lake drains back into the old county
Yeah.
drain, open ditch.
That far east ditch coming all the way back serves no purpose, really.
No,
You say the far east one?
Yeah,
Thank you.
never did serve a purpose.
Well, I'm getting ornery now. I'm going to entertain for the last time the Johnson motion.
What?
Move we adjourn.
I wanted to make that motion. Okay, I'll second it.
Who's going to make the Johnson motion? Up, too late, Kenny made it.
I'll still second.
All right, Pat second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Make sure you turn us off, Mary. We can huddle here for just a second, guys. Jim, I need you in on this too.
okay.
I got this, gotta shake this.